Yeah, you just kind of look in this area over here.
Yeah, don't get me.
All right.
You're rolling.
All right. For years, my wife has suffered from finger ulcers, and they've tried to treat this systemically, which is by pills to enhance the blood flow to the fingertips, because she has very severe Raynaud's and has had for many years now. And they've also tried to treat it topically with like a nitroglycerin around the base of the fingers to promote the blood to get to the end of the fingertips. And her middle finger and her index fingers are the ones that are most affected on both hands. Anyway, as a result of that, over many years' time, nothing has actually worked. And this particular finger here, right here, had a very, very deep ulceration. It's been 2 months now that we've been treating it in the way I'm about to show you. And the reason we're treating it this way, the way I'm going to show you, is because in the arms there are valves. There are valves all through your capillary system. And when the heart pumps, it pushes the blood down, but the valve closes, so it disallows the blood from going backwards. So as a result of that, you have a series of valves all the way down your hand until it becomes very complex. There's a very complex network of veins in throughout the hand. And if you look at my hand, you can see how many veins. And in a woman's hand, they're not as prominent, but they certainly, and they're very fine. And that's one of the problems with women especially, is that the valves are very, very small. And over a period of time, these valves, now this is my theory and I'm just sharing it with you, these valves become basically rusted shut because there is not enough pressure to open these valves up. So what happens is she was experiencing a lot of pain in her elbows, both sides, for the longest time. And after we started this process, within about 30 days, that pain had disappeared, and now the ulcers are pretty much gone now. And this is why we're sharing this with you. But what happens is, by doing what we're doing, by massaging the arm, we're pulling the blood through these valves. And what happens with Raynaud's, again, theory, is that this valve is, the pain that she was feeling is this valve was actually operating. However, because the pressure is backed up in the hands and the blood can't release, because the valves, the return valves, are rusted shut, so to speak, she was experiencing pain because the pressure is building up here. And that's why the hands turn blue, because the blood can't get through anymore, and to the point where, like the straw that broke the camel's back, the valve then has to release, because there is absolutely so much pressure pushing on it that it does actually release, finally releases. It's like a pressure system that pushes it open. And then the fingers turn red, and that's when the blood cascades back into the fingers and the cycle starts all over again. The pressure dissipates, and then it starts to build up again, and these valves, these rusted valves, close again, and they stay stuck closed. So by using the method we're using now, what we're doing is a natural means of opening these valves. And that's the key to what it is that leads to the healing process, because it's a matter of getting blood into the fingers and have the circulation start to work on its own. The other issue was this, is the bottom of her fingers here. These fingers, every one of these fingers was hard, almost rock hard. You couldn't even squeeze them. And now, I'm not sure you can even see it in the video, but I'm going to use a toothpick to show you that there's a tiny bit of flexibility in these fingers now. And that was never there before. And now these are getting very soft, or softer, I should say. And that is an indication that we are starting to see a lot of improvement in these fingers. Not only that, but this ulcer. I have to emphasize that ulcer, and I can maybe show you a still picture of this that we took on 2 months ago before we started this process. That literally was at the bone level. It was very, very deep and painful, and this finger was swollen way out into this area here. And I have a picture that's not really super clear, but take my word for it. This was all inflamed, and that was super deep, which is why we started this process, because there was no other indication that anything else was working over these many, many years. It was always putting Band-Aids on it, Neosporin, nitroglycerin, many different products and so on and so forth, and nothing worked. Now, 2 months later, we're almost to the point, right, where this is gone. And not only that, but her middle finger on this hand and the same on the other hand. The middle finger and the index finger on her hands are the two that are affected. And one of the reasons for that, and the other fingers aren't, is this theory, is there's a lot of complex veins in through the back of the hand. And the reason for that is, my theory is, it's primitive, because way back when, the hands were susceptible to damage. And because of that reason, because, you know, way back in primitive times, for the reason that the hands were always in jeopardy, is that the hand itself has naturally evolved so that this network is so complex that if you were to injure fingers or something of that nature, it would not involve the other fingers. So, in theory now, which may be in fact the case, is that these two fingers now, those are the valves that are rusted shut on this hand and the other hand in her particular case, although other people may be different, because the network is very complex and probably changes from person to person. However, with that said, the valves being rusted shut are the ones that actually help these fingers achieve blood flow. So we're about to show you how it is. After 2 months' time, we have taken this particular one, even though there have been 4 of them. This particular one of all of them, right, was our test. This is the one here that critically shows that this has actually been very extremely beneficial in her particular case. And this is why we're offering it to people if they want to try it. It's very passive and it seems to work, and we're going to show you how we went about it. Now, before I start the process, and I'm going to show you that I do this only now, it's not really necessary now, but I take hydrogen peroxide, simple hydrogen peroxide, before we start the process. And I just simply pour it locally on the area, just to keep it disinfected in case any of the cream that we're about to use is going to get in there. And I just do that. It's very simple, and that's all. And that just kind of like is a helpmate to kind of disinfect it and keep it kind of clean. Then what we do is we take this. It's called hydrolatum. And this was recommended to us by a dermatologist, and we went out and we got this. Now, it does not work by itself. But we use this as an easy means of achieving the result. And I'm about to show you what it does. But you can buy, this is hydrolatum. We got this at Walmart. You can find it online. And there's also other stuff at CVS and things of that nature. It doesn't go under this brand name, but it's basically the same thing. It's just a very, very mild water-based cream. Okay, so anyway, with that said, we heat this thing up for about 15-20 seconds in the microwave, simply just to give it a little bit of warmth and a little bit more of, it becomes more of a lubricant that way. Very simple, and this is what we do. You just simply start above the elbow, above that valve that we just talked about. You put the cream on the hands and bring it all the way down, spread it out, and now this is where it's actually very simple, very, very simple. You just easily just massage the arm and pull the blood down into the fingers. Just like this, nice and easy. You cup your hand around the arm, and I kind of do a twisting motion as we move through here. And we just bring it down into the fingers. It's no different than the way farmers used to milk cows, and just bring them, you know, through, and that's it. It just brings it through and brings the blood down to where it belongs. And by doing this, what we're doing internally is we're taking this blood, not only we're putting into the fingers, but as we bring this down, apparently, because of the healing process that we've experienced, it also now has lubricated and opened up those stuck valves. And whatever may be jeopardizing those valves internally is now starting to make them work again naturally, because her hands don't turn blue anywhere near as often as they used to. And again, the ulcers are disappearing. and it's almost completely gone from being right almost to the bone and being maybe 3 times the size of what you're looking at right now. I mean, it was critical that we started doing something, that we had to take something and do something on our own because nothing else was working. No pills, again, and no creams, no medications, no Neosporin, nothing even dented this. And after 2 months now, this particular hand has been, we've been doing this for 2 months, 10-minute sessions on each arm, twice a day. 10 minutes twice a day. Just doing this and just bringing the blood down, locking it into the end of the finger. You can see how it turns red. So you know the blood is getting down there. You can see it as I bring my hand down. You can see the finger, the tip of the finger turning red. And I lock the blood in for a little while. And then I just back up again and do the same thing. And it's that easy. 10-minute sessions, 2 10-minute sessions, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And after 2 months, 60 days, it's been almost exactly 60 days since we started this process. The ulcers are almost gone. And we expect they should be gone very, very shortly. And that's it. And that's what we do. And just bring it down and just roll your hand around the arm. Nice and easy. Not a lot of pressure, a little bit of pressure. Obviously, you need a little bit of pressure, but nothing extraordinary, nothing that hurts us. You know, don't squeeze it too much. And that's the healing process that seems to work. I mean, it's physical evidence that this works. And we're sharing this simply because nobody else has achieved anything along these lines to cure an ulcer. And that's our story.
As I said, I am not a doctor, but I would like to offer a few more afterthoughts. My wife also once suffered from severe ulcerations and calcinosis on many of her fingertips. But we found that after eliminating high concentrations of calcium from her diet, there was a major improvement since these ulcers are now completely gone. I would also like to further offer that the medications designed to open the blood vessels, to encourage blood flow, may work for many, but it is my own feeling that because the vessels throughout the entire body are also reacting to the medication, and therefore are expanding as well, that the needed pressure for the targeted localized area is being ultimately diffused, a situation which is completely unlike this particular passive-aggressive approach, since this therapeutic massage is delivering a substantial dose of nourishing blood directly to the problem areas. So what has been achieved here has been accomplished without any medications, other than one single blood-thinning aspirin tablet a day.